It's funny to hear a female talk about routes.
I'm Mia Mignon.
Because your quarterback don't know how to throw a back shoulder fade, and every time that he's in perfect position and back shoulder fade in the end zone, he can't throw it. You know, I'm not talking about one simple route.
Back.
Yes, and the reason why I say that is because LeBron James is a product of Michael Jordan.
Love. You know, what do you know about love? What do you possibly think you know about love? You know, I'm sick and tired of men using love like it's some kind of disease you just catch. Love should have brought your ass home last night.
Mori Lang Show with the Renegade Relationship. Let me shatter that myth real quick before you go on. Just because a woman likes sex all the time does not make her a freak. If she can't deep throat or she's not willing to deep throat, then it shatters her own myth.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of Routes and Relationships where I am Mia Mignon.
And I am Mori Lang Show. What's up, sports freak? What's going on?
Nothing much, Mr. Renegade Relationship.
Well, what's on tap for today? What's the first half about?
The first half is about youth sports and its effect on your child's education.
Okay, we're getting kind of deep there.
Kinda
Okay.
deep.
What about when we come back for the second half of the show?
The second half,
The
take
relationship
two,
side.
is when you met me.
How I met you.
Yes, how you
Ha
met me.
ha ha. So the truth is going to come out, no holds barred.
Sure it is.
The truth, nothing but the
Sure
truth.
it
The
is.
truth sets you free.
Yes.
How we
hallelujah.
met. All right, first up, youth sports.
Youth sports.
What about youth sports?
So I was listening to the radio, as I always do, sports talk radio all day, every day. And they were discussing the amount of youth sports that a child has on them on any given day. Like you have a child that plays basketball, a child that plays football, a child that plays baseball, just constantly running and going and running and going. And they were saying that parents are building quote unquote successful or great athletes, but not necessarily building and focusing on great students.
I can see that, but is that necessarily the truth though? Like I have my take on playing sports in all seasons, but how that ties into academics, those are two separate things to me. Like we focus on academics, we focus on sports. Like I want my children to play sports all year round. I want them to play different sports. I don't want them to play, football all year round. That's just not healthy for your body.
No, it isn't. But you have some people whose child plays football all year round. You have winter football, then you have spring football,
ball.
then you have flag football, and they play it.
Right. See, I don't agree with that. It's just like these baseball players now that these fathers and coaches have these pitchers in pitching camps and pitching 12 months out the year. It's gotten so bad or so good, depending on your perspective, that these teenagers are now having Tommy John surgery early just to alleviate the time away from the game if and when they do become professional. So they're pitching all throughout the year. You got to picture that pitching motion every single day, 12 months out the year. That can't be good for your body.
No.
That's why I'm a big proponent of changing sports. Fall time you play football, winter time you play basketball, springtime you run track, you play baseball, you do lacrosse, you do all different sports, just to give your body a break from physicality, if you will.
Yeah, especially football.
Yeah, especially football.
Yes.
Yeah, so as you get older, as you go through middle school and get into high school, the student athlete will, they'll wind down and pick a sport or two that they really, really like. And again, I stress that they really, really like. Not that what the parents like, but what they really, really like. And they can really start to focus in on those one or two sports when they're junior and senior in high school.
Well, according to the survey that they were talking about on the radio, that the students those particular students who do, for example, like you said, pitch all year long, they have to be sent home packets for homework because they're going to baseball camps or football camps, or just like with the youth football championship that's in Florida every year. The school actually has on record that there's youth boys that play football, and during this particular this particular week in December, they're going to go to this football championship, and we have to give them a packet. And they just believe that they take away from instructional time, and it hurts their grades at that particular time. And then when it hurts their grades, they don't necessarily get into, especially when you're talking about the middle school, they don't necessarily get into the high schools that they want to get into, and they have to go to low-performing high schools that'll end up affecting which colleges that they choose. That was their survey. The survey that I saw said that students that participate in youth sports or high school sports with strong sports programs, they had a higher grade increase of 70%, and it's drastically different from students who don't participate in youth.
What is that? What do you mean 70%? What is it? What does 70% mean?
Well, 70% of the students, athletes, that go to a school with a strong football program, strong basketball program, was just heavy on sports, that 70% of those students are great students.
Academically,
yes. Not just from an athletic standpoint, but academically. They are what the quintessential student athlete.
So it actually debunks the whole myth about playing sports and education. The stronger sports program, the stronger school you go to with the stronger sports program that you participate in, the higher percentage, there's a high probability that you'll have good grades and you'll graduate with high honors.
Yes.
So how about
you
that?
Can
There you go.
network and make friends and be sociable and outspoken and
That's the
not an introvert.
that's the byproduct of playing sports. That's why I'm a big proponent of sports. It teaches the social aspect of your life skills, teamwork. So that's a whole other conversation.
Yes.
But that's interesting that strong sports programs in high school, students that participate in those, they have lower dropout rates, higher graduation rates, they do well academically, and it coincides with the strength of the sports program. That's interesting.
Yes. So put your kid in a sport.
Multiple sports.
Yes.
Have them play baseball, have them do track, have them do soccer, have them play football, have them play basketball, have them do lacrosse. I know these are somewhat expensive sports, but hey.
Oh, hockey.
This is for the kids. It's for the kids.
Yes. And they're offering good scholarships for sports like soccer and lacrosse and hockey, in particular for black children, because they don't play those sports, or so they think.
Yeah, baseball and hockey, what are percentages of the black folks, minority folks playing baseball and hockey now?
Well, baseball, black folks used to play baseball back in the day, yeah. But they're starting to come back around, especially in hockey. There's a number of black men playing professional hockey.
A number of black men, can you count them on one hand, two hands, or?
Not two hands, but I know that there's some brothers.
One
One of them. The reason why I say that is because one of them played for my beloved Dallas Stars, and he has a brother that played for, I believe, the Rangers or New Jersey Devils. I'm not sure, but the Capitals has a black player. It's a couple of them around.
So we have a handful of black players
We need
out
more.
of what, 500?
We need more.
Okay,
Just
same
put
as
it that way,
baseball.
we need more. Yes.
Same as baseball.
But it is beginning to get a lot of black boys playing baseball.
Well, black boys, we used to dominate baseball
We
in
did.
the early 1900s in the Negro Leagues. We used to dominate baseball until Jackie Robinson fucked it all up. But that's another story.
Another topic.
Thanks, Jackie Robinson. You ruined my man Abe Rube Foster's dream.
Satchel Paige.
Yeah, Jackie Robinson started it all.
Yeah.
He started the fuckery that we live in today.
Let's go. Let's move on. Let's talk
Anyway.
about how you met me.
Second half of the show.
Yes.
How I Met Your Mother.
Yes.
You sure you want to talk about this? You sure you want to do this?
Truthfully, let's talk about this.
Truthfully, you want to talk about how you stalk me on Facebook? You
Oh
truthfully.
my God! I did not
That's
stalk
what
you on Facebook. We went through the Facebook and found out that you sent me the friend request.
All right, here's the deal. I used to still do write a lot about relationships on Facebook, and I used to have this page of my many pages on Facebook outside of my personal profile. The page was called "The Truth About Women." If you go back, you may even know about the truth about women on Facebook. That was my page. I used to write about how women bring issues to relationships, and that was the meat of my whole relationship stance.
Yes.
The issues that women bring. So I used to write about the truth about women. That was the name of the page.
Yeah, you was a female basher. Go ahead.
I was kind of a female basher, but
Yeah.
then I had to, the bigger it got, and the more coaching I did actually, and when people used to give me scenarios, even men, I used to think to myself, oh my God, men are some dicks. Men have major issues. Wow, this is amazing. But I stuck to my, to my script about the truth about women. I used to always talk about the truth about women. So one time, I had a scenario up about these heavyset women taking doggy bags out the restaurant. And no holds barred here. I have this thing with heavyset women. Very few women that are heavyset are heavyset because of a genetic trait or health issue, or they're just not big boned.
We get it.
Most women are heavyset for lack of discipline, laziness, bad eating habits, lack of a workout. So there's a reason where heavyset women are. And I used to have this thing. I used to hammer these heavyset women. And I wrote a scenario about these heavyset women taking doggy bags out of restaurants. Lo and behold, the stalker sitting beside me
I am not a stalker.
decided to comment and say, wow, we must be in the same place because I'm watching the same thing. So I said, here she go flirting. That's so cute. Look at this little flirt going on.
That was not a flirt. I thought it was the funniest thing.
Right, she was flirting.
I was on a date, and I was at a restaurant.
And she was stalking the truth about women
and
page at the same time.
And I was flipping through my Facebook timeline because that was one of the worst dates that I've been on. So I was entertaining myself, and I thought what you said was hilarious as I saw those 3 black women walk out of the restaurant with the doggy bag.
Right. That's her way of getting in, guys. That was her pickup line of sorts.
Well, you didn't have to respond.
That was a pickup line of sorts.
Okay.
So I checked out the profile. Like we all do. I checked out the profile, all headshots. So I'm thinking, I know she's not this heavyset. There's number of headshots that she has on Facebook. So I sent her a message asking where she was, if she was saying she must be in the same spot watching the same thing. So we started a little conversation in the DMs on Facebook about where we were and what we were doing. She said she was on a date, and I just happened to be on Facebook. I used to be addicted to Facebook, so I used to always be on Facebook.
Yes, proud.
So we had a conversation about that. We kept on having the conversation about the physicality of women. So I asked her. I said, "Where are your body shots? You have no body shots on Facebook. It's all face shots."
So disrespectful.
So, lo and behold, we decided to meet up.
No, go back.
I'm giving them the 15-minute version.
But you have to go back. You have to go back and say, when you asked me about what was my size, I told you what? That I was a tight 2 and a perfect 4. And you didn't believe me.
A tight 2 and a perfect 4. I was like, she's describing a Barbie doll.
Right, you said, ooh, you
shaped like a white one.
Yeah,
you look like a white one. Okay. But lo and behold, we ended up just hooking up for some drinks at Jasper's out in PG County. So I'm thinking to myself, being who I am, like, Jeez, what am I doing? You know, meeting somebody from Facebook. Ho hum.
She
Oh
gonna be
my
crazy.
Lord, she gonna be crazy. She gonna be fat. She gonna be oh Lord. So she walked in there in this type 2 perfect 4. So I'm like, damn, she's slim. You know, just my type. And if anybody knows me, and she has this walk, that this walk will mesmerize you. Like, she can walk. Like, sometimes I just like to watch her walk away. Like, she has this walk. So she walked in there. I said, okay. Alright, I might be able to do something with that. I'm going to see how long it take me to hit this. That was my first thought. So we go to the bar, have some drinks. We talking. We just chit-chatting.
Mm-hmm.
We talking about the truth about women.
Mm-hmm.
She trying to find fault, but she can't because she's agreeing with everything I'm saying about women.
Mm-hmm.
You got women have issues. Of course, men have issues too, but we were talking about women issues. She stuck to the narrative. She stuck to the topic. And the whole time I'm thinking, how long is it going to take me to do this? So me being a gentleman, I let that first night go. We said goodnight.
Mm-hmm.
And did we text?
I text you 3 days later. No,
3
I
days
text you
later?
that night. I text you that night, and I told you thank you for the date. You
Okay.
said anytime, and then I think we talked 3 days later. Text 3 days later.
Right. Then we decided to go out again.
Yeah.
This is the second time. Within about a week?
Yeah, within the week.
Within a week. Okay. So we go out again. We go to another restaurant, have some drinks. Was that with your sister there that time?
Yeah, that's because we had
We had a networking event. Yeah. So I came up there, and we had some drinks up there, and then we left. And then I'm not sure did I meet you there?
You met me there, yeah.
And then we drove back to your sister's house.
Yes. You took me back because I rode with my sister there, and you took me.
Oh
back to
yeah,
my
okay.
sister's house.
You rode with your sister there. I took you back home.
Yeah.
And then in front of your sister's house, now the second date, you said, what'd you say?
Let's have sex.
You said, let's have sex.
Yes, I was newly divorced, haven't had sex in about 2 years, and you were attractive, and I had condoms in my purse, and I said, let's have sex.
So she said, I hope y'all getting this. This is our second date in front of her sister's house.
Yes.
We were in my truck.
And I don't know what came over me. I said, let's have sex.
And then you did what? You went into the back
No,
seat?
you said, stop playing with me. And then you said, I said, I'm serious. And you said, shit, you ain't got to tell me twice. And you went in the back seat.
We went in the back seat in front of your sister's house.
Yes.
And then you came in the back seat with me.
Yes.
You gave me a condom.
I gave you a condom.
And we proceeded to have sex.
And we had sex.
In the back seat of my truck.
In the back seat.
In front of your sister's
In
house.
front of my sister's house.
On what date was this?
It was Tuesday, second date. It was a Tuesday.
It was Tuesday on our second date. So we went out the previous Thursday, and then the following Tuesday we went out again.
Yes.
And she wanted to have sex in the back seat of my truck.
Yes.
So I obliged.
Of course.
And then you went in the house.
And I cried. I cried. As I said,
She
I was
cried.
a
She
Jezebel.
cried.
I couldn't believe I did such a thing, and I cried and I cried and I cried.
So then our relationship became what? You were Tuesdays?
Yeah, you were my Mr. Tuesday, yes.
And we had sex every Tuesday in the back seat
Every
of the truck.
Tuesday, and sushi and sex.
We had
and
we could-
pomegranate martinis. For
Right, she turned me on to sushi way back in the day. That's why I like sushi now. I go out to sushi happy hour.
Yeah.
She turned me on to sushi. And we used to have sushi and drinks and then have sex in the back seat of my truck.
Yes.
And that went on for about 3 months.
3-4 months, yeah.
3. And I have this thing. Like if you're having consistent sex, and this is what I tell women to be mindful of. And I tell men this too. If you're having consistent sex on a regular basis for 90 days, after 90 to 100 days, after 3 months, 3.5 months, somebody's going to start liking somebody. And there's a higher probability in the woman liking the man than the other way around. But at some point, if you're not open to a relationship or you don't want a relationship, you have to check in. You have to say, hey, we're just having sex every Tuesday. Is this still good? Are we still on the same page?
We checked it.
And then you have to be brutally honest. If you say, I'm really starting to feel you, I kind of like you, I'm open to a relationship with you, then if the other person is not feeling that way, all bets are off.
Right.
The relationship is now over.
Dip out.
You got to go.
Yes.
You cannot continue and fool yourself to think that, okay, I can continue to have sex with this man or sex with this woman and not like him. Therefore, if the decision is my feelings have changed, and then you're not open to the changed feelings and the result of the changed feelings, therefore, you gotta go. You gotta end the relationship. You gotta move on.
Right. But we went on for no, we checked in.
We checked in. We actually checked in.
And we
You
went
said
on second
you were
90
cool.
days. Yeah.
You were cool with just having sex. That was it.
And I was.
And I was like, okay, if you're cool with it, I'm cool with it.
Yes. And then I called you one day when we stopped talking for some reason. And I
It
called
wasn't that
you
long,
one day.
maybe 2 weeks.
Yeah, about 2 weeks. 2-3 weeks at the most.
Right?
And right. And then I called you and was like, hey, meet me at the Safeway in the parking lot. And
I was like, oh, shit, we're going to have sex in the parking lot at the Safeway.
And keep in mind, it was a Saturday night.
And it was a Saturday,
Because
okay.
at this point, we moved to twice a week. You were no longer Mr. Tuesday. You were Mr. Tuesday and whatever day
And
we decide.
Mr.
Yeah.
Thursday,
Yeah.
right.
Right.
So it was about twice a week we were having sex, still in the backseat of my truck, by the way. Sometimes we go in the house.
Yeah, sometimes.
But most times it was in the backseat of my truck.
Yeah, we just needed to do what we needed to do and go on
And
about
then
your business.
keep it moving.
Yeah.
And then you called me on a Saturday, said meet me at the Safeway on a Saturday.
Yes.
And what happened in the parking lot at the Safeway at Saturday?
Well, I told you that I started dating somebody else and that I have a boyfriend. I have a boyfriend and I have a relationship that I'm going to explore. And I'm going to be exclusive and I'm going to try to be exclusive in this
Let me tell y'all something. Mind you, we're in this 4 or 5 months now. All we're doing is having sex and eating sushi and having drinks. That's all we're doing.
In conversation, just to have sex, yes.
And she calls me to tell me she's meeting me in the Safeway to tell me that she has now found a new relationship that she's going to explore.
Yes,
Therefore,
and I couldn't have sex with you.
And she can have
So you needed to take me off your
No,
Tuesday
wait a second.
holiday.
Time out. When you told me that, because you didn't come right out and tell me. You didn't come right out and tell me
No,
that
you
you had
asked
a
me to
boyfriend.
give you a hug.
You said that, we couldn't do this anymore, that you had, you got a boyfriend now.
Mm-hmm.
And my response was, why are you laughing?
Go.
Because my response was, after I laughed hysterically at the fact that you now have a boyfriend, I said, what does he have to do with my Tuesdays and Thursdays?
And that's when I told you, because I was going to be exclusive and I can't have sex with 2 people at one time. And he and I, at that point, we haven't had sex. So I had to stop having sex with you long enough for me to cleanse and rejuvenate. Because I felt like a Jezebel. Yes, I felt like a Jezebel anyway having sex, but I wanted to do it. So, I had to build my relationship with him.
So the next day you had a boyfriend and started having sex with somebody else.
I didn't have sex with him the next day. I did not.
Alright. So my goodies was cut off cold turkey because she decided to get a boyfriend.
Well, you had options.
But here's the where the rubber meets the road. We never stopped communicating, and she had this boyfriend, and she refused to have sex with me.
I told you I cannot have sex with 2 people at the same
Week after week, I would try to make plans to do our Tuesdays and Thursdays, and you were not having it.
No.
It's like my Tuesdays and Thursdays regular sex partner is now in a relationship, and I can't get any more. And I thought it was fake at first. So the longer I tried to maintain my Tuesdays and Thursdays, the longer we went on that I wasn't getting my Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then we just became cool.
Yes.
And we just became buddies.
Yes.
You used to ask me relationship advice.
I did.
And then eventually I ended up getting in a relationship myself.
You did.
And we still maintain our communication.
Yes.
I guess that, I don't know if people would consider that inappropriate.
Well, Yeah.
I guess it has to be
The
inappropriate.
friendship we had, but we had a friendship, so we didn't have an inappropriate friendship all of the time.
Right. We were actually buddies. We became pretty good friends. To the point of I've seen you go through 3 boyfriends. And
Yes,
I had my
was
one relationship
I
that
was a serial monogamous. Yes.
the serial monogamous is with one person.
Yes, it was.
Monogamy means one.
Yeah, I had one boyfriend every 3 to 6 months, and then he got on my nerves because he wasn't my type. Or
Right.
something was wrong. Yeah.
So you were the perpetual man trainer at that time. Right. Got it.
Yes.
So I sat there and watched her go through these boyfriends.
And give me, oh my gosh, I used to get relationship advice from him, and I swear he was setting me up.
She never
for this
listened.
moment.
And she never even listened to the relationship advice that I gave
No,
her.
I did it.
Because I gave her genuine relationship advice.
It didn't
And
work.
because she didn't apply it. That's why it didn't work. You didn't apply it. And you cannot sit here and say that you applied it.
I applied it in the first one because I asked you how to break up with the first boyfriend. I
She
did.
asked me how to break up with him. That's not what I do. I don't advise people on how to break up.
I asked you.
I create, the tagline for Renegade Relationship is that I create successful relationships one couple at a
Yes,
time.
and I asked you what would be the words that you would want to hear when you're in a relationship and she's trying to tell you, you know what, this is not going to work.
Yeah, I don't really know.
You gave me, you told me what to say, and I said it.
It's not you, it's me. I got it. Yeah, that's the old,
Yes.
that always works. That will always work.
No, what you told me was tell him the truth, and I told him the truth.
Right, so that went on. She went and got another boyfriend, and then another boyfriend, and another boyfriend.
And don't give me all
Meanwhile,
those many boyfriends. I did not have that many boyfriends.
I had a relationship, and I lived with the girl, and we maintained our friendship.
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually, my relationship didn't work out. Her relationship didn't work out, and we used to always talk about still relationships and just friend stuff. Mm-hmm. And then one day we were talking on the phone, and then she asked me to be her man. She asked me to be her man.
Oh my God, you really gonna sit here and tell the people?
That's what happened.
I did not ask you.
I remember I was laying in my bed. It was
Uh-huh.
like, I want to say Saturday morning or something.
It was.
It was Sunday morning, whatever it was. I was laying in my bed, and we were talking about relationships. And then you said, "Well, I want you to be my man."
No, time out. That is not what I said. That is not what I said.
Well, that's what I remember you said.
We were talking about, you kept saying you didn't understand why I don't have a boyfriend, is what you said. I don't understand why you don't want to be in a relationship. I just don't understand you sometimes. And I was giving you all of the reasons why I didn't want a boyfriend, what was wrong with my prospects, as I call them, as my prospects. And you was like, you know what? I know you better than you know yourself. I don't know why you keep trying to act like I don't know you, and you this and you that, and you know me so well. And I was like, well, you know what? If you know me so well, and I don't understand why you not my boyfriend since you know me so well.
Again, didn't I just say she asked me to be her man?
No.
That's what she just said.
I didn't say.
God, right in right now.
I didn't
Comment
say.
right now. Comment right now and tell me, did she ask me to be her man?
If you let me finish.
You just asked me to be your man.
No, I said, then if you know me so well, then why aren't you my boyfriend? And then I said, because I know you. And I know that you and I cannot be you. I know you don't remember that part. You don't never.
No, I not that I don't remember that part. I remember that part.
Mm-hmm.
You're trying to disguise it. The bottom line is, you asked me to be your man in a roundabout way.
You sure I did.
You said, why aren't you my man?
No, but then
That's the same thing.
And then we still didn't even become a couple after that. We still did. It was a couple of months in between before we decided to.
Right, because I know my value. I know what I bring to the table.
Stop it.
I wasn't ready for no relationship.
You need to stop it. You need to stop it. You need to damn stop it. You need to stop it. At that particular time, you're right, I had just got out of my relationship. You've been out of your relationship for a couple of months, but I had just got out of my relationship. And you were telling me about how wrong I was in my relationship and all of this little
Which
other
you were.
stuff. And I was not wrong.
Which you admitted to.
And all of this little other stuff. And then you pissed me off. And then I didn't call you for like 3 weeks because you pissed me off because you kept telling me how wrong I was and all this
Either
other
way,
stuff.
you need to emotionally heal from a breakup.
You do.
You going into your next relationship, you need to be emotionally available anyway.
That's why I told you we could be roommates.
And that's whole roommate stuff.
Yes.
That's another thing.
I said we could be roommates. You said if we be roommates, Mia, I'm gonna end up fucking you.
Right. There's no way that I'm gonna be a
friends
roommate.
at that point.
Right. Okay, we were. We hadn't had sex in like years.
6.
Right. 6 years? No, I don't
it's about
think
4
so.
years.
I don't
About
think
4
so.
years, yeah.
But I just know if I'm under the same roof as you every single night, at some point you're gonna come to my room.
I'm gonna come to your room.
Yes, you're gonna come to my room if we are roommates.
Okay.
Just like you asked me in the truck on my second date
Oh my gosh.
that you want to have sex. You're gonna do the same thing if we were
Well,
roommates.
I
And
got
I'm not a fool.
I got that
You
out of my
can't be-
system after we had sex.
You can't be you're not that naive to think that we're not gonna have sex if we were bona fide roommates.
Well,
So that's why this whole roommate idea that you had went in one ear, out the other. Even though you talked about it for 3 months.
I did talk about it for 3 months. I was serious. You should have been my roommate. But you didn't want to be my roommate.
You're right.
You wanted to be my man. So that's how you ended up. That's how you ended up. Because you couldn't take the fact. Because I said, you can have your company. I can have my company. And you said, I'll be damned if you bring another nigga in my house. So, anyway. Yeah, we'll let the people go with that story for now. Because it was
Y'all
quite
write in and
entertaining.
tell me
It
what
was
y'all
quite
just heard.
entertaining.
Y'all write in and tell me what you just heard. Hit us up on Instagram, Routes and
Wait,
Relationships.
did you say how we got together? Oh, because you just couldn't take it and you couldn't take the friendship anymore?
No, you know how we got together? She used to throw these hints and use other people's
It's still about me again.
other people's examples in their relationships. Like she had a girlfriend that was dating this guy for years. Actually dating this guy, having sex. They were in a relationship, except one fact. The guy never acknowledged her as his girlfriend and never really acted as if they were a couple, except the fact that they were. It's been a couple years. Remember my whole 90-day thing?
Mm-hmm.
So Mia used to use this example of her girlfriend who was in this relationship where her man never acknowledged the relationship. And at that time, Mia and I were friends and we used to hang out and do things as well. And we started actually having sex again by that time. So you trying to drop subtle hints said, hey, what's the difference between what she's saying and what we are doing?
Lies.
That's not a lie. That's exactly what happened.
Fake news.
Her girlfriend had this relationship with this dude where the dude didn't acknowledge her as a girlfriend, but they did all the girlfriend-boyfriend stuff.
Now, let's go back. Let's go
So
back.
therefore, Mia came to me and said, well, what's the difference between what they're doing? So
Let's go back.
I'm not going to be anybody's permanent girlfriend, blah, 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 blah.
I said that months later. What happened was we were friends with benefits, and I started saying stuff, and you were like, sweetheart, I think we moved past the friendship stage at this point. I think we moved past the friendship stage. I think
No,
we're here. I
no,
think we did.
no.
Then I brought to you some relationship advice for my girlfriend, and what you explained, I was like, well, what's the difference from what we're doing and what she's doing? Because you had already said we moved past the friendship point. You said that before I brought you that. But you like to go with that. Anyway, why don't you just admit, Maury? At that point, after we started having sex again, you were just hooked. You just didn't want to say it first. You wanted me to say it. You didn't want to admit it first. And
On
I
that
get
note,
I get it. Yeah,
thanks
I
for
know.
tuning in.
You want to wrap up.
thanks for tuning in. It's nice having you guys. Hit us up on Instagram, Routes and Relationships.
Yes.
Hit us on Facebook, Routes and Relationships.
And email me.
Make sure you go to YouTube.
RoutsandRelationships.com so I can email you guys the real story. This
Make
was
sure you
quite
go to
entertaining.
YouTube, subscribe to Routes and Relationships. Hit us on Twitter, Routes_ships. Our website, routsandrelationships.com. If you want to listen to the podcast on the website, go to routsandrelationships.com/blog. They're all right there. But make sure you turn into YouTube and subscribe to the channel.
Yes, indeed.
On that note, we're out of here.
We're out of here.
Peace.